Sure, and taking you back to the hotel.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, right, so Fred, you've been at the Academy now since you come back mid-2009, so you've been here 3.5 years. Describe the changes that you've seen implemented since then, up to where we are now, so in 2013.
Obviously, we've had a number of managerial changes in the time. And when I came back, it was April 2009, we changed a lot of things. We changed coaches, we changed the coaching philosophy and brought Pep Segura, Rodolfo Borrell in, done a wonderful job. So now all the coaches here know exactly what they do from day to day, from week to week, from year to year. So each, the under-9s know on one particular day what they'll be doing, and then it continues throughout the season. So the coaching philosophy has changed. When the boss has come in now, he's asked us to play a different way. So we started playing 4-3-3. I think it's been a really good change. And the kids need to get used to playing in different formations, and so that's been really good. We changed the number of physios, we changed the fitness people. So we have done. It was a really big task to do all that, but we're really pleased the way it's worked out, and I think it's we're getting the benefits from it now.
You say you brought up changing the playing style at the request of the manager. I mean, is it a movable feast in regards to what comes down from Melwood, or is it is it pretty much what you think is the best way going forward yourself?
Yeah, I think for my job, I'm here to support the manager of the club, and if he wants us to do something in a certain way, we have to get on with it. But it's been the right thing to do. We played 4-2-3-1 for 3 years, and now it's not a massive change to go to 4-3-3. And obviously with Rodolfo, who's now the technical director, working at Barcelona, it was quite an easy change for him to do. The manager likes that system, and the manager plays a number of systems, so it's important that we do, revert back 1 or 2 games, which we have done, and he's fine with that. But he's very supportive in what he wants us to do.
You mentioned Rodolfo coming from Barcelona. Is there a desire to maybe create a La Masia type identity, but in Liverpool's image? And if that is the case, what would that image be?
Well, I think we want our own image, and the manager's very keen on all the players being really comfortable with the ball. So it's a massive one for us, where from the ages of 5 and 6, we're getting the kids very comfortable with the ball. We're moving on quickly to trying to get them to use 2 feet. Like I noticed Rodolfo with the really young ones the other day who haven't even signed at the club, and he was in there looking at what was going on, and he was explaining a few things to the coaches and to the players. But just getting the kids used to receiving the ball and being comfortable with it, and very much using both feet. And I think that's really improved with what we've done with that. So the kids now, when they go to Melwood, and we've had 15-year-olds going up to Melwood this year, which has been great. The manager always rings me after and tells me he's doing well, but he's always said they've all been really comfortable with the ball, and that's a great testimony to all of the coaches that we have here, not just Rodolfo and Alex and Coops. It's all of the ones who work with the young ones who do, we're not seeing a lot, but they do a fantastic job for us.
You mentioned the coaching, but for you personally, what's harder, keeping a clearly gifted player that likes you once in a generation, Steven Gerrard's, Wayne Rooney's, whatever, keeping them on the right path, or maybe getting the extra 10% out of maybe a Carragher type player who might not otherwise make it without that influence? Yeah,
I think there's a number of things you can look at. The biggest thing for the academy is recruiting the right players for me. Recruiting them at an early age for the local ones, because we're all desperate to have Liverpool Scouts lads in the team, me as much as anyone. And the manager may not be from Liverpool, but that's what he wants as well. Then it's about looking after the players, because you can have a top talent. I remember when Raheem come in, and Raheem has done absolutely fantastic, but he has taken a lot of work from Phil Roscoe and Clive Cook, who work with us on the pastoral side. He was lively, and he took a lot of work with them. And it's about having the talent, but also keeping them on the pitch, keeping all the kids on the straight and narrow, and giving them the right message. And we do a lot of things giving them the right message, where like we did the Hillsborough last week, and all the kids know what Hillsborough is about. So we do a presentation for about 20 minutes before, and actually the ladies team were here, so I said to them, you know, come in and listen, because it's our family, it's our club, and the kids who are from Portugal and from Spain and whatever need to know what it is about our club. So we do a lot of things like that with them, and also do like, you know, we'll teach them to iron, we teach them to cook. So it's all them things that you do, as well as the coaching and finding the best players.
You say, I mean, you mentioned Hillsborough, it was very noticeable last year when they had when the independent panel came out. It was yourself on the steps of St George's Hall, and you had the kids down there. How important, I mean, I know you touched on it, but how important off the back of that is doing things like that, and how important, crucial, critical are Phil and Clive to the operation with the academy for doing things like that?
They are, you know, they're as important as the scouts and as important as the coaches, because you can find great kids, you know, you can give them great coaching, but if they go off the rails, you're struggling. So for me, it's very important that they teach the kids, and it's not just about them being psychologists or teachers, it's about having a culture in the place where all the other people are the same. They get a constant message off us that, you know, we don't stand messing around. They're here to work, they're here to smile, you know, they're here to enjoy it. I don't want kids I never want a kid who comes in and doesn't want to be here. The kids I love it when they run up the stairs because they want to be here, you know. And I've just come in this afternoon, and there's 12 of them on a minibus, school day, but they're in here getting coached. So, and they love being here. So I think they do an absolutely massive job for us. As for it was a very proud moment for all the academy to be asked, you know, to go and do the vigil at St George's Hall, and it shows you how important the club and, you know, the city think of the academy as well.
Does that, you talk about the kids and the attitude of some of the kids, you mentioned Raheem needed a little bit of work, doing stuff like that and educating them in that way, do you find that it has a humbling effect on them when they realise that the weight that the club carries in the city and what it is to represent the club? Absolutely.
I don't think every other club does what we do on this. We're massive on them knowing what our supporters think of us as people, you know. We're from Liverpool, we know what sort of people we like. We like them to be, you know, not to be too big-headed, not to be too flashy and all that. And we teach them things like that. But we're really, really pleased with the crop that we've had over the last few years. Raheem, you know, wasn't overly hard work, but he's from a different culture. He was from London. He was in with house parents. He missed his mum. You know, he missed his family. So it was a massive thing that we did with Raheem. You know, bringing him up at just 15 years of age, putting him in a house. And but I think everyone will agree it's worked out quite well.
You talk about working quite well. What has been your single? If you could name one particular thing, what's been your proudest moment since you've come back as academy director?
I think we've had loads. To pick out one is quite difficult, but there's one of them that isn't, I suppose, a massive one for everyone. I was really the latest one is to see Conor Cody on the bench on Sunday, you know, because him and his family embody what our club's about. You know, he's been with us since he was 6. He's actually 19 now. He's been captain of England. He's been captain for every age group, 6 right up to the reserves now, and he's, you know, warming up to hopefully come on against Chelsea. It's a massive moment, that, and you know, he's got a brother Harrison who's with our under 11s now, and Harrison's been with us since he was 6, so his mum and dad have been bringing all of them in. It's going to be about 20 years by the time they finish. I was hoping they're going to have a few more, to be honest, but I think that's it for them. But that was because I've known the kid since he was 6, and to see him coming through, it was a really proud moment on Sunday. That.
Yes, just wondering how much of you mentioned there's kids off a minibus here from school. How much of the clash is there between here and school? Do the schools support what you're doing, or you sometimes have to fight a little bit with the schools to get them to see things your way?
Well, we've been quite clever with the schools because we basically got our own now. So right. we built a wing at at St Helens High School, and Phil and Clive been involved a lot in that. We have our own teacher in there, and we have 2 teachers actually, so the kids will go in there and we get greater access, so that we actually have their football programme and the education is massive. We don't scrimp on the education side. You know, the education works very much hand in glove with us, a really supportive headmaster. But the kids will come in, they'll have been in this morning, they sometimes do a bit of work from 9 till 9:30, have classes till 12, come in here, have the lunch, then they'll train this afternoon, then they'll do some homework and some more work with tutors that we have here, then they'll train tonight. So it's a real, you know, some of them are 12 years of age doing that. The more contact time we can have with, if you've got a good player, you work with him properly, and I don't mean kill the kid, but work with him properly, with good physios, good fitness, good coaches, you know, and the more contact time you'll get, at the other end, you're definitely going to get better players.
Yeah. What's a typical day like for the older academy players then? I mean, do you do kind of education at what you might call sixth form level?
Yeah, we do, because the likes of the under 18 squad, which is 17s and 18s, have to do education, and they'll do, I think it's 3 afternoons a week now where they'll work hard at their education. But we also do the life skills, you know, that we spoke about before, in with that. And one of the best ones was when they go to Alderhay, and we went one Christmas, and I thought, why did we just go at Christmas? You know, because you couldn't get in there. There's that many coaches because it was Christmas and everyone wanted to go in. And we made a commitment to Alderhay that we go in every month. And you know, Phil has sorted that. The lads go in every month, and it does not bring them down to earth when you see, you know, kids who are not well. And I think it's a massive grounding for them. That.
Yeah, because it makes you remind them how lucky they are to be not just able to be fit and well as well, isn't it? Do you think? Do you find yourself getting bogged down by finances in this role? Do you know how much of your job is dealing with finances and trying to balance the books and so on? Yeah,
it is a big part of this role now, because you know, before when I was chief scout, it was obviously finances as well, but you know, the boss would get the blame for that or whatever. So that was a little bit easier. Now managing this whole operation where we do spend quite a lot of money, and you know, we've got an enormous staff of over 50 now, and a lot of interns, and that is a big part. And I find, you know, it's not the most enjoyable bit of the job, because the best bit of the job is watching the kids develop. And I love watching the coaching of a daytime, and I love watching the games, and that's what I love. But for the job and the role that I've got, I have to work hard at the other bit.
Yeah. The other thing I would wonder about is the step up from the reserves to the first team. It's so big, because reserves football is obviously totally different to first team football. Do you think it's Liverpool's place to start fighting for some kind of like feeder club system or something like that? Is it up to Liverpool to go to the Premier League and the FA and start fighting for something like that?
You know, that's been mooted at a lot of meetings I've been at, and I don't think it's a bad idea to do it, and I've always been in favour of that and spoke in favour of it. There's obviously a lot of, you know, not everyone's in favour of it. You know, we don't let a lot of players go out on loan. Maybe 2 or 3 we've had out on loan this year. So, but the programme that we put in here, one good thing about it, the feeder system, is when you have your own coaches working with your own players. So I understand that. At the moment, with having the Next Generation tournament, has been a fantastic one for us, where it is like the next level. You know, you play against Sporting Lisbon and get battered 3 times in the last 2 years. And I have to say, last year, when they beat us, they're probably the best young team I've ever seen in my life. You know, but from that, when we got beat 5-1 away and 3-1 at home, we've had 8 players who've come through that team and played in the first team. So it's been, you know, sometimes getting beat is just as good as winning sometimes, when you're trying to push the players on and they get used to doing what you want them to do.
Yeah, I saw the first leg of the Chelsea match, the Youth Cup match, and it was disappointing that the lads lost, but it's quite a team to compete against, that, isn't it? And so maybe in some areas there is a decent bit of competition out there.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of competition. You know, I never talk about what other policies of other clubs are, but obviously Chelsea's a little bit different. to us. They want to win the Youth Cup, and they spend a lot of money in the players. You know, that's all been remarked upon in the last few weeks. We're different from them. You know, what we try to offer the kids when we're trying to take them to Liverpool is is getting them into the first team. You know, so there is definitely a pathway for them, and I can say that I think there's a bigger pathway here than any other club in England at the moment, and that's down to Brendan Rodgers, the manager.
You talk about just one final thing, just you talk about pathways. When you look at, I mean, from the other side on the next gen, it's interesting looking at the different teams and the different philosophies and so on and so forth. I remember talking to, when he mentioned Sporting, Diogo, at Sporting, and he was saying, you know, you look at another certain team in England that I wouldn't mention, but so one of their players is on more money. It's signed from Spain. He's on more money than their entire youth squad. And he said that's the big risk with players like that, because they've got talent, but somebody's got that amount of money to throw around, and that gets turned, and you know, more often than not, they don't end up fulfilling the promise. So is what you're trying to say is you're trying to take the model that you've got like Barca and Sport, and like the pathway, the whole package, as opposed to just trying to throw money at it for the sake of throwing money at it, and just getting a hit rate of 1 in 5.
I think the pathway is definitely our selling point when we're trying to sign a player, and it's generally worked. It's always worked in England. I think we've signed some of the best young English players. You know, our under-16 group is as good as anyone. So the English kids who understand it, sometimes when you get the foreign players may just go for money. You know, they may just go for the first contract. I always say to them, I've just been in a big meeting with an agent about a player, and I always say to them, the second contract's the one, because if your player is that good, he's going to get another contract. So you only get another contract by playing in the first team and having a pathway. So if you go to a club that's not going to play in the first team, you don't get a second contract. Why would someone want to give you another 3-year, 4-year contract when you've been there 3 years and you haven't got in the first team? So there's got to be, you know, there is a balance. You still have to pay the players well, because that's fair and right that you do that. But I don't think you know, and the manager's a big one. He doesn't want to overpay, and I'm the same. We want to be competitive. We don't want to kill someone with kindness and lots of money. We want them to earn the money at our club.
So do you think that, so in essence, it can have an adverse effect if you get too much too early?
Absolutely. I think it's been proved. You know, it's down to the character and the things that you do with them all the time, and trying to make the kids humble. And I know for a fact, if Conor Cody was on 200 grand a year, he'd still come here and watch training as a young lad. So it is about the way his parents, you know, the club can't be responsible for everything. The way the parents are with them. If the parents are money orientated and just want loads of money off from football, you know, that he's got a problem. If the staff are stupid with the kids, which ours aren't, we're trying to push the kids on in a proper way that's going to improve them. You know, as I say, Cody, doesn't matter what he earns, it just goes in the bank, and I'm sure he's sensible with it. He's still got the smallest card out of all the kids, because he's that type. But you can get some of them, some of the other kids who are more flamboyant, and they like the things early and they like the possessions, and it is a problem, mate. Yeah.
Because it is some of that driven, like you mentioned the parents. I mean, you hear stories about, you know, the players' parents acting as a de facto agent, looking for the best deal for themselves. I mean, you hear of other academies, not to name them, or to get the father getting a job, or being offered jobs or a house at the club to try and influence the kids to go to their academy.
Yeah, I think if you know, sometimes, you know, people cheat to get players. If you cheat to get the player, you'll cheat to get rid of them. And it's a massive one where we're just, all I can talk about is the way Liverpool do it. We do it straightforward, honest. We give them, everyone a good, you know, we give them a good package, but we give them the pathway. And if they're keen to play in the first team, this is definitely 100% the best place in the country to come to.
Off the question about you having to fight with the schools, do you ever get any of the schools fighting with you? I mean, I remember going up, playing for the schools, and you always had the lads who were at Liverpool or they were at Everton, what have you, and they were never allowed to play at that level, and that obviously hampers certain development outside of the club system. Do you think is that still very much the case, or is it more that with the rise of academies it's far less important?
Very few kids unfortunately play for the school teams now, because you know we give them the football education here, and it's tiring, to be honest, you know, because if you think the under-9s are in 3 times a week and play a game on a Sunday, it goes up, the 11s are in like 4 times a week, and so on and so on, and some of them are doing like 8 sessions, so it's difficult to play for the school. But what I always think is it always gives other kids who don't get a game the chance to play in the school teams. So I think, you know, at first the kids when I first started, the kids definitely missed playing with the mates, but I think we've educated them now where they know they're going to progress quicker if they work with us, and you know, they come on this journey together with us.
Yeah, do you think that, I mean, how do you think that's changed the mentality of players, though, the fact that they are now in academies so young, as opposed to, I mean, look at the example of players, it happens less and less, but you look at like an Ian Wright, for example, who was a very late bloomer coming into the professional game. How much do you reckon that's impacted, as I said, the mentality of the modern footballer now, that they are at a club from the age of 7, 8, 9, 10, as opposed to coming in maybe at 16, 17, 18?
I think there's a few get blasé about it. I'm going to Liverpool. I remember the likes of Stephen who used to come in for an hour, you know, in the Vernon Sangster and Cara probably, you know, coming in for an hour a week when they did it. So it's gone complete circle on that, hasn't it? Where, you know, you look at Michael Owen even, who probably did the same, and then but played for his school one night, played for the country another night, played for his youth club, you know. So all the best players were getting dragged all over the place, just playing in games.
Yeah. So
they weren't really coached at any time, you know, they were just coached in the games and playing in games. So I think this is a massive improvement for football, and obviously for our bit it's done okay.
Great, go on then, tell us about the rickshaw.
Rickshaw, oh. What happened with the rickshaw?
Don't ever try and get a cabin under that.
Yeah, we were at the next gen party, end of season do, and Andy like didn't have any money with him, which is unusual, and we couldn't get a cab, so me and him ended up sharing a rickshaw. A good job I was sober, because I don't drink, obviously, as you know. He'd had a few, so I got him in the hotel, and he was fine, but I ended up paying for it. He still owes me for the cab.
I still do. I've still got the scarf.
Did I give you a scarf?
No, you didn't. I just wake up without it. You had a big scarf on.
Oh yeah, that. Yes. What do you want that?
No, super. No, well, also, I've got the receipt. I've still got the receipt.
Yeah, you put the receipt in, by the way, to about four agencies, I think. You better watch the tax.